How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. And today on the lathe we have a crotch piece of ash. It's the sister piece to a bit of ash that I turned a little while ago. And we're going to do this piece the other way to the original one that I turned. So the first one I did, I turned a bowl in the center of the crotch and left like a flat top. This one we're going to make into a complete bowl, or as complete as it can be, being a crotch piece. So at the minute I'm just getting a rough shape on the outside. We're turning at 1400 RPM with the 40/40 bowl gouge. Gnarly piece of wood. Sometimes you have to bully your way in. Okay, so we've got the 50mm jaws on the chuck today. So I can go a little bit smaller with my mortise than I usually do. Means I can have more of a sweeping base to the piece. I toyed with the idea of leaving the cut edges, the flat edges on the piece, and I decided against it. So we round them off in a minute. There we go, you can see me rounding off the edges now. Just taking the flat side of the chisel and pulling it towards the top. And I'm just creating a slight downward curve to the very edge of the rim. You know, I cut so much the other way, I don't like cutting that way anymore. It's alright in the centre where you have to make mortises and stuff, but everything I turn on this lathe seems to like being turned the other way, from the centre to the outside. Should be enough room for a mortise. Okay, so we've got the rough shape down, and this is just a finishing pass all the way from the center to the outside, and that'll be our final shape. Okay, time to put the mortise in the middle, close as we can get to 50mm. And today I decided not to use my parting tool. I'm going to use a 3/4 inch skew and see if that makes a better job. It wasn't very sharp at that point, but I did sharpen it up, and it made a fair job. Nice flat mortise in the bottom. Alright, on to sanding. And we sanded up the outside of this bowl to 800 grit, all the grits. And the centre, very centre, up to 600. That's the 800 pad going on there. And a bit of kitchen roll with some shine juice on it. And there we go. And we've come to the point of the show where we get to have a look at some of your fantastic work. And these images are sent in by Paige Coleman, who's a regular commenter on the show. And I believe this is a maple bowl. I better check that, hadn't I? Okay, I just checked. That's ambrosia maple with a live edge. That's a lovely piece of work, Paige. Thanks very much for sending it in. And if you would like your images to be featured on the show, you can send them to willmakeseverything@gmail.com. Okay, so it's time for the hollowing. Not a very deep piece of wood, this one, so we didn't have to go too crazy. But I did want to make something that was fairly delicate looking. Not anything like its sister piece, which was a real chunky monkey. Now, this being a crotch piece, the grain was changing directions right in that middle bit where I'm working there. And it was a bit grabby just there. Everywhere else was fine, but it just where the grain split apart, it was going in all sorts of directions and making life a bit difficult. But nothing we couldn't handle. So you can see from the picture where you can see through the bowl, we're cutting quite a lot of air up on the top side. So just a gently approach. So that's all air there. Okay, so we're almost down to final depth. Just got the centre to take out. And just putting a little chamfer on the outside of the rim. Just to clean the edge up. And that is final depth. Time for sanding. A nice easy piece of sanding. All the way again to 800 grit. And then on went the sanding paste. That's the 800 grit finish you can see there. And then, as always, the shine juice. Some lovely grain in this piece. And there we go. So, as always, I'll leave you with the glamour shots. And right at the end is some pictures of this bowl with its sister piece. You can see they're two halves of the same piece of wood. So, that's a bit of fun. Right, I'll leave you to it, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow with another video. Cheers, folks.